Three, riffs to invest in. Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Fundamentals. This lesson is about the reason why you want to learn riffs or licks. If you are a fan of StichMethod, or if you haven't seen this before, I don't really like to teach like licks because licks, just to let you know, they depend on what chord is happening or what's happening in the music. And so I tend not to teach that. But when it comes to riffs, there are certain riffs from my past learning that I remember did something for my playing. And so if you feel like, you know, you're at a plateau, or that you want to learn something new, or that your fingers aren't doing what you want them to do, I'm going to show you three riffs to help like move my fingers in different ways. With that being said, that's why you learn riffs. When you're learning riffs, of course you want to learn them to play them, but you also, you want to see your fingers or feel your fingers moving in different ways, so that as you write songs or as you're improvising, you're not limited to what your hands can physically do. You want to be able to do whatever you imagine and call on any finger to move to any place. And so learning cool riffs that move your fingers in different ways is a great way to do that. All right, so with that being said, let's look at our first riff. Now I want to say big banner. I know this is not played correctly. And what do I mean by that? When I was learning the song, oh my God, I must have been 13, 14 years old, 15 years old, and Ultimate Guitar had just started, and this was the only tab on it. And I learned it, and after seeing it played correctly, it still doesn't matter. I learned it this way. It's the wrong way. It's all the right notes. It's just not how he plays it. But it did so much for my playing, so I'm going to show you the wrong way, and that is Satellite by Dave Matthews. Now, the wrong way to play it is like this. And so I'm going to show it to you. What this did for my playing was really, make my fingers really independent and stretch out and made my fingers stronger. So let me show you. I'll put the tabs up actually, and I'm going to show you how I play it, both left and right hands, and you want to try and play it exactly like this. Even though it's not how Dave Matthews plays it, it's how I learned it from some random tab 20 years ago, right? And so it did so much for my playing this way. I want it to do the same for your playing. So you start with your middle finger on the 4th fret of the E string with the down pluck. And while holding it down, you stretch up with your pinky to the 6th fret of the A string with a down pluck. And then you go to the 3rd fret of the G string with an up pluck. Down, down, up. All right? And then middle finger back to it goes to the A string 4th fret with a down pluck. And then, let's make sure. Yes, down pluck on the 4th fret with the middle finger on the A to an up pluck with the pinky on the 6th fret. This is a power chord, but look, you're making the power chord with your middle and pinky. Both fingers are down, and I'm telling you right now, my arm is burning, all right? This really developed a lot of strength and dexterity. So you have 4, 6, 3 with an up pluck, 4 down pluck, 6 up pluck. Now a regular power chord, 3rd fret A, ring finger, that's down, up. So you have down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Pause this video, pause it and see if you can get that first step. All right. And now the hardest part, well, not the hardest part, pinky, 6th fret of the E string. And then index finger stretches all the way to the 3rd fret of the D string while the pinky is still holding this down and ringing. All right, that's an excellent stretch. And again, my hand is burning, all right? After this note, you're gonna go to the 4th fret of the A string, 6th fret of the D string, and that's middle finger pinky, and it's down, up. There's the chord already. We're going to come back to it. Then here it is again. end with the first finger on the 3rd fret of the A string with a down pluck. I'm going to go over the plucking and everything, but let me tell you, ow. All right, this really, you're stretching, you're pushing, you're pulling, and you're holding, and it really, 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 it gave me a lot of strength and dexterity playing it this way. So plucking wise, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And the idea here, before we go and learn more riffs, is that you want to hand the notes off to each other, kind of like they're connected, all right? I have a couple of videos about playing smooth. One of them I'll link right up here called, I think, the Lipla Challenge. Don't ask, just watch the video. And, the whole idea is to not sound staccato, where the fingers are coming off the strings. You want to leave them on. Stretch, 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 stretch. Ooh, really? There you go. All right, that's riff number 1. All right, boom, I have an electric guitar now for riff number 2. I highly suggest that if you have an electric guitar, you grab it for this one. If not, it's okay, you can still do it. It's gonna build strength. So I'm gonna walk you through why I chose this riff. This riff here is, of course, from one of my favorite bands, Phish. Now, for you non-Phish fans, don't roll your eyes. I wanna explain. The first album I got was their album Hoist, and this, I forgot what number song this was, but this song here, as soon as it started, it had a familiar blues rock sound, all right? Like you could hear it in the pentatonic, this like, you could hear that Johnny B. Good type thing. It caught my ear, and then it goes into this like sinister riff, this really cool riff, and the riff is this. And when you hear it, it's so thick, it's like, wow. And I didn't know what it was, but I'm like, okay, let's play that. It turned out to be a pentatonic-based riff, but the way my fingers moved inside this pentatonic, I had never moved this way. And it opened my mind up to, learning how to kind of like move as independently and as freely as possible in a pentatonic when either writing riffs or soloing. And so I'm going to show you this riff. Now, again, a little caveat, which is this is how he plays it on the album, but when you listen to it live, he changes a note, and that's cool and fine and dandy. It's just, if you want to listen to the album version, again, this song is called Axela Part 2, and I have to say, like, I love the guitar riff. You'll see. All right, here we go. So it starts off with this Johnny B. Good type pentatonic. All right, you're putting blues finger down. Right, blues finger, and on the 6th fret on the B and E, and then you're taking your ring finger and you're putting it on the 8th fret, but you're also taking your middle finger and putting it on the 7th fret of the G string, and that's going to help push up. And you're going to go. These two fingers are pushing. Think about like what you're doing is you're pushing someone out of the way and then like rescuing someone. That's a terrible analogy, but that's how you want to feel. And so you're gonna go 1, 2. Well, actually, hold on. Yeah, the first bend, is. There's a good tension there. And then you're gonna bar the 6th fret of the D, G, and B. And you can move it up to the 8th fret. If you want to, you can do that. Or however, if you want to do the ring finger. So the intro. Okay, now the cool pentatonic riff. We're in the B flat minor pentatonic. That's as much as you need. Palm muting, palm mute. Get the palm on those strings, deaden it a little bit, and we're gonna go 6, 8, 6 on the E, 8 on the A, 8 on the D. And you're gonna go down, down, up, up, down, down, up. Look at my ring finger, it's collapsed on that A and D string. You're gonna pluck the A string down. And now you're gonna release the palm mute, get your first finger on the 6th fret of the G string with a nice twang. And now back to this bar, okay, on the 8, and it's up, down, okay? 6th fret D, 8th fret D, and now, like this is the cool part, pinky, 9th fret, 9th fret of the E, 8th fret of the A, up pluck on the D string 6th fret, and we end on the 9th fret of the E. And the second riff ends a little bit differently. So we have 6, 8, 8, 8, 6, 8, 8, 6, 8, 9, 8, 6, 9, 6, 8, 8, 8, 6, 8, 8, 6, 8, 9. And when you realize that's a B flat minor pentatonic, and like, have you ever moved your fingers that way before? Probably not, because if you did, you'd be playing Axela Part 2. And so this whole riff to me really was like, oh, I can hear the bluesiness in it, but it's different from the blues. Why? And it's because of that riff and moving around the pentatonic in a different way really opened up my eyes and fingers to maneuvering. So you have... Great riff. All right, the last riff, before we get there, if you want to practice other riffs with me that really shape my playing, check out my Patreon page where I'll be teaching some bonus practice sessions around riffs that help shape my fingers and mindset. And so now the last riff is really good in understanding how important discipline is in order to sound smooth, right? And so this comes from Life's Been Good by Joe Walsh. And the line is such a cool line when you hear it, right? You got this. All right, and so let's talk about what that is. There's a cool discipline to be had in moving this. And so we start off with this D-shaped F chord right here, okay? So it's down, up, down. And right here is what's interesting. That ring finger stays on that B string. It becomes your guiding like wire, right? It moves down very easily to the 5th fret. Ring finger goes to the 5th fret of the G, and index finger stretches all the way to the 3rd fret of the high E string. This is actually a C chord. It comes from the A-shaped cage chord, in case you are wondering. All right, so you have, look at that ring finger. Look at that transition. The ring finger stays, the other fingers move. All right, and then we move down here, and now this this middle finger comes down to the 2nd fret of the G string, and the 1st finger bars the first 2 strings. And so you're kind of like sliding on one finger, and then exchanging the finger and sliding again. And so we have this ring finger stays connected, form this chord. Middle finger stays connected and comes to this chord. And we're gonna do that twice. The second part really is now we're going to this A minor chord. All right, like this, just barring. Now, really there's no like need to stay connected. 3, 3, 4, this is a G chord. Sorry. Middle finger stays connected as you slide. 1st finger comes down on the 1st fret while you slide down to the 2nd fret. Come off, and then we hammer on. And so, staying connected at these points helps you move. Sorry. Boom, boom. Sorry. There it is. I don't know why I'm messing up so much. All right. So these three riffs that I showed you changed my playing. The wrong way to play Satellite really strengthened my hand, made my fingers stretch. Axela Part 2 opened my mind up to the possibilities of making music within the pentatonic. And here, Life's Been Good, the infamous kind of acoustic riff, infamous. It made me realize how disciplined you gotta be to kind of keep a finger on and guide yourself through the riff. All right, I hope you enjoyed this, I think, rather long video on guitar fundamentals. Again, if you want to practice some life-changing riffs with me, come check me out on Patreon. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any riffs that change your perspective or way of playing, put it in the comments below so I can check it out and so can others. All right, rock and roll. Bye-bye.